Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
And we're coming at you from the Podcast Palace in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma, where
we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. Sorry for the break there. I had to get my glasses or I can't see anything. So, make sure you hit your subscribe, follow, commit, like,
donate. Is that an option?
Yeah. Whatever you're listening to us on, so you can easily find us. They'll send notifications to your phone on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and any SoundCloud, any app that you listen to your podcast on. We should be on there. And make sure and check out our YouTube videos, Thursday Night from Louis. They come out on Thursday nights, Friday mornings. We've been covering doing a Big 12 preview this week or this month, since we're within 12 weeks of football season.
Getting close, aren't we?
Check us out on where also, Rob?
Netflix, QB1, coming out probably August. We'll
Yep.
have a part of our clip of one of our shows with it.
Yeah. We've already signed the It's Okay to Use Our Images and Voices paperwork. Make sure and check that out. TailgateConnect.com. You can sign up right now for the Oklahoma Sooner Tailgate in Pasadena, California at the Rose Bowl for the Oklahoma UCLA game. Or if you're going to be traveling around, maybe out of town for not being able to catch the Sooners, or you got family in another town. If you want to find tailgates to go to, the best tailgates to go to all across the country, at all the campuses pretty much across the country,
Tailgate Connect.
Dan Donnelly, the Tailgate Ninja, will set you up. And as always, check out Louis on Campus Corner anytime you're down around Campus Corner. Tell them we sent you, and they'll do nothing but to go, oh, okay, great, thanks. You don't get anything, just...
you might get a funny look.
Yeah, it's like, why are you telling us that? We don't care if they sent you. Or come out and join us on a Thursday night. We're there every Thursday evening from about 4 o'clock, 4:30-ish. No, it's actually about 5 o'clock.
5-ish, yeah. 5, yeah.
So until we get tired of sitting there, or they get tired and make us leave. What else, Rob? Is there anything that we're missing to remind people about?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. I just hope that the people that are going to UCLA will go to this tailgate so that we can have strength in numbers. I mean,
yes.
I'd like for there to be a lot of Sooner fans there.
Yeah, I think he said right now it's set to have, 50 people or 100? I can't remember. He did. I can't remember what he said. It's between 50 and 100.
That are already signed up?
No, I think he's got enough for, I think, 100, and I think 50 have signed up. There's some UCLA fans have already signed up. The majority, though, is Sooner fans. So you get to hang out with, Rob and I prior to the game.
I know that's high on everybody's list.
Yeah. So now the big news is this week is that Rob, sitting here next to me, lost all of his strength this week, like Samson, who cuts his hair.
Oh.
Rob went from
Goose Longo's yard. What do you know about that? Rangers are winning. Sorry.
Got the Rangers game on, so Rob's happy. But Rob had about a foot long beard,
at least,
and now he's got kind of more of a 5 o'clock shadow.
Shaved it all.
Shaved it all. Can you explain why, Rob?
Momentary insanity. Have you ever done something, Terry, and then there was instant regret?
Yeah, like,
yes. So there was a small poodle in the trash can in my bathroom after I did that, and I was like, oh, man,
no.
I regret this already.
So how did everybody take it at work? Did they
I
notice?
have not been back. I've been on vacation for a week and a half now. So
dang, a week and a half?
Yeah.
Paid vacation or suspended without pay?
Yeah, paid vacation. For sure.
So what are you looking at there on your phone? It's got you.
I got just the Facebooks on.
Okay, you seem to be enthralled with.
Well, somebody's doing something here with some toothpaste that looks really kind of cool, but I don't know if I'm going to watch that or not. Probably not. So probably just going to put that over.
Yeah. Oh, there's another thing I got to look. Some people sent us a deal. We will discuss the Alabama elephant thing. I forgot to look it up.
Oh, somebody enlightened us?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
A couple of Sooner fans actually looked it up.
Sat on the edge of my seat here
and sent. I'll have to look it up. We had a guest that was going to be on, but I had to cancel because I got stuck at work in a meeting. Wasn't sure when I was going to be able to get home to get this going. So we'll have Sean on next week. And so I really didn't have a whole lot of time today to look a lot of stuff up.
You know what I did
last
most
night.
of the day?
What did you do most of the day?
Laid out at the pool.
Laid out the pool.
I took pictures of my feet like in the water and stuff. And I was like posting it like I'm at Cabo, because everybody's like, oh, I'm on a cruise. I'm like, I went to Walmart.
You're at Cabo and you can see the Walmart, delivery door from your pool.
I actually did send that picture to someone and I said, hey, I'm on vacation at the Grand Cayman. My favorite place on earth is the Grand Cayman Islands, by the way. And they were like, I've been to your pool before. I can tell that you're at your place with the pool. I can see that. And I'm like, no, I'm in Cabo, or I'm in Grand Cayman. That's it, Grand Cayman. They said, well, which is it, Cabo or Grand Cayman? I'm like, okay, I'm at my pool.
So you've been off for a week. Are you off for the rest of this week? Next week? How long a vacation?
Yeah, I'll be off till probably. I'll probably go back Monday. I mean, unless I don't know, they may call me and say, Rob, things are falling apart without you. Yeah. I'm going to go, so. No, I don't know. I told them I was going to be around, so if they needed me to come in, just give me a call. So who knows?
Yeah. But got a new look. He's kind of tanned up now, so.
Been laying out at the pool?
Yeah. Are you going to let the beard grow back, or you don't like the way you look?
No. Well, I don't like the way I look, period. At least I can hide a little bit of it behind the beard, right?
Well, I guess so. But, I haven't had any. The most drastic thing with me is that my goatee just keeps getting grayer.
Yeah.
Every time I look at it, I see a picture of myself. I'm like, dang, I mean, how white is that going to continue to get?
Keep on going. But I don't want to break any bad news to you.
Yeah, I know. So, it's heck, as my old man used to say, it's heck getting old, ain't it?
It is.
So, there's been a lot that happened this week, but first thing I want to talk about, Rob, is we've talked about it before, kind of the transfer portal stuff, and then these early commits, because Oklahoma, we'll talk about the Brock Vandagriff commit here in a little bit. But did you hear what Okie Stank did?
They claimed a national title that wasn't theirs?
Other than claiming a national title that wasn't theirs.
No, I didn't.
Okay. This 3-star athlete, Miles Price, committed last week to the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he probably wasn't that good. No, sorry, Miles.
Well, I mean,
but he made a commitment, and I'm trying to think. I think he's a 2021 class. I think.
So next year,
yeah, or 2020. Anyway, he commits. He takes an official visit to Texas Tech this past weekend.
Uh-oh.
Oklahoma State pulls their offer.
What?
Yeah, for him taking an official visit. Now, it gets all murky after that with Oklahoma State told him they didn't want him to take any more official visits. If he's committed, he's committed. Don't take any more, or this is what will happen. Or he just didn't know about it and did it, or did it anyway. So, what is your opinion? I know we talked about it before, but I commit to the University of Oklahoma, and the University of Miami calls me. I have 3 official visits left. Do I take that official visit to Miami and get wined and dined?
Well, I think as a Sooner fan, you don't want them to go look any other places. However, also as a Sooner fan, we know that we have, roughly I mean, the best, if not top 2 or 3 facilities in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not really worried about them going to Miami and looking at the dog pit that's down there and changing their. But I'm sure Oklahoma State is.
Right.
As a student athlete, we've already said, take them all.
Yeah,
every
take them
visit
all.
you can.
You know, I mean, I get, I don't like these early commitments. I don't, Brock Vandagriff, he's going to be a junior this year. So
right.
he's still in his sophomore,
going to be a junior.
Right. He just finished his sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
He's
you see, he's 6'3", like
he's a big old boy.
Yeah, he's huge.
But now he's committed to the University of Oklahoma. Sounds like a good, solid commitment. But again, when I was 16 years old, I couldn't commit to eating at McDonald's or Burger King.
Yeah.
Okay. I know, it's a different world now that we live in. These kids go to these camps. They get all this training and everything. But he's 16 years old. Personally, I don't like the NCAA's hand in anything, but there should be a deal that says you can't commit when you're a sophomore.
I don't know why you would feel that way. If they want to commit, they commit.
Well, but I mean, does it mean anything?
Well, I mean, it only means something if it means something to the kid.
Right.
If the kid has the integrity to say, listen, I'm not going to commit right now because I don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
I mean, that is a statement of integrity to me.
Right.
If a kid says, hey, I'm committed to you, I'm not even going to look at any place else, and he decommits and goes somewhere else, then, I hate to say it that way, but I feel like that's a statement in integrity as well.
Right.
So, I mean.
Because there's nothing, a verbal commitment is nothing other than anymore, than you going on Twitter and saying, I'm 100% committed, respect my decision is what a lot of these kids put out there. And most of them stick, Spencer Rattler stick for 3 years.
Sure.
And a lot of them do stick to it, but it really doesn't hold water other than,
not really,
because if at any point in time that kid changes his mind, I mean, again, you don't know what can happen in life. Grandma gets sick.
Well, one thing's for sure. The University of Oklahoma will not stop whining and dining him until his name is signed.
Right.
So, I mean, just because he's verbally committed doesn't mean they're going to go, okay, no, we don't have to talk to this guy until,
right.
They're going to continue to knock on his door
right.
and call him and, I
be in
assume.
touch. Yeah. But I did think it was funny, though, with the recruiting class. I don't know what they're ranked with Oklahoma State, though. Pulling an offer for a kid taking an official visit to another school.
Can they afford to do that?
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't follow their recruiting or anything, so I can't imagine that they have enough recruits that, they don't have just a whole bunch of guys out there that they can just say, hey, we don't want
to me, it's kind of arrogant.
A little bit.
You went and saw somebody else. Well, we're breaking up with you. You went and you looked at another girl.
Well, in Texas Tech, I mean, it'd be one thing if you went to Clemson or Alabama or Oklahoma. You went to Texas Tech. And on trade one pew for the another one. Pew pew pew.
But the other thing is what does this say about Oklahoma State to other recruits? That I'm not going to commit to them because
I'm going to come visit you guys.
Yeah, because if I go visit somebody else, you're going to pull an offer.
Yeah.
I think it's just a dumb move on their part.
I agree.
Which just adds to the complete dominance that we will continue to have over them in every aspect of football.
Did the Mullet Man make a statement about it?
I
why
didn't.
Did we do this?
My understanding and reading is what little bit I've read on it and heard on it was the understanding that Oklahoma State had was you're committed, it's yours, as long as you don't go take any more stop your official visits now.
What it tells me is whatever position that he was in, it tells me that maybe somebody knocked on the door in that same spot that may be a little bit better than he was.
Maybe.
And they're like, hey, this is our opportunity to
cut ties with him and
this other guy. So.
No. But again, who would want to go to Oklahoma State?
Well, there's several people that are on their last chance that want to go there. Wear orange for some reason or other.
Wear orange. and be coached by a mullet and have a stadium that runs
East and West.
And it's named after a guy named Boone.
It's the only one in the Big 12 that runs East and West, right?
I think it's the only Division One.
I think didn't Troy?
Is Troy really Division One?
Well, I mean, technically, I think they are, but
and they're the Trojans
really
too.
They're not. But.
And that makes sense. Unlike USC Trojans. We digressed to last week. Sorry, folks. It's just a weird setup. Gallagher-Iba basketball arena is there in the end zone.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? If I'm Oklahoma State, I keep pushing that black and silver that they've been wearing because those actually look pretty good. As long as they keep that ugly orange out of there. The black. And
that flat gray kind of.
Yeah. And the helmet that has like the star instead of the goofy cowboy guy. Or what's his name? I forget. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Pistol Pete.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the star looks a whole lot better than that, having that on there. But
Popeye the Cowboy. Kind of what he looks like. Popeye the Cowboy Man.
A little bit.
With a mustache.
Oh, my gosh. The Rangers.
Oh, are they blowing a 4-point lead? But, so anyway, that's a little, and I said, we've talked about the portal and stuff. I mean, it's good and it's bad. It just, these way early commitments, it looks good. And I'm with you. I think Lincoln Riley is such a master recruiter that, and according to what, Vandagriff said was, he told him, if you're my guy, if you commit, I'm not talking to anybody else. It's that simple, But if you don't, I'm going to keep looking. And when, if it comes up and you go.
Well, that's what happened with Vandagriff, right? He said, hey, they told me.
Yeah, I'm the guy. Do you really want to sit back and wait? And if you call and go, well, we've decided to go a different direction. How's that going to make you feel?
Right.
So, but I mean, pretty, a lot of people made, some not complained really, but they were like, oh, we missed out on the number one quarterback in the 2021.
Not just the number one quarterback.
Yeah.
He's the number one player.
Yeah, the 2020.
Now.
Yeah, but we missed out on the 2020.
Oh, right.
Number one quarterback. He committed everywhere else, and now we got the 2021. It's like, okay, apparently Lincoln's strategy is to get the number one quarterback every other year.
Well, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it.
So,
and I'm here for it.
Not if the number one quarterback every year wants to come to Oklahoma. I don't know that he would turn them away.
You know what's funny is? Even the number one quarterback from a couple of years ago chose us when, when Kyler came here. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Kyler was the number one recruit, in the country. It makes you wonder what drew him to A&M.
Well, if you remember, it was the coach that was here. What was his name?
Sumlin.
Kevin Sumlin. Yeah, I think he had a pretty good relationship with Kevin Sumlin.
And the coaches, his high school coaches and stuff.
Yep.
And
he wanted to be a Sooner the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, so he went to somebody that was kind of crimson, and said, what is it, that maroon red? Wouldn't that be their color?
Well, you know what? They got a lot of good stuff going on down there at A&M. They've really upgraded their facilities. Their stadium actually holds a little bit more than ours does. It's a nice campus. But as soon as they went to the SEC, they threw 2 more national championships up on the board. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And they claim a Big 12 championship that
I would be ashamed.
they didn't even go to.
Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be ashamed?
Yeah. I guess
I'd be like, listen, Oklahoma, what are you doing? Yeah. I'm not doing that. Yeah.
No. We feel like we were the best team in the country, so we're going to claim that, and we know we were the best team in our conference, so we're going to claim that.
Right. I mean, you got what you got. You know?
Yeah.
You can't go back and go, hey, we went undefeated in 1948, but we didn't win a national championship, so we're going to go ahead and claim one that year. You can't do that.
Yeah, and now apparently, I said Brock, it's Bryson. Vandagriff. My bad. I don't know why I got Brock.
Yeah, you probably won't hold it against you.
No, it is Brock. Where am I? Where did I see Bryson at?
I don't know.
I've got 4 things pulled up on my computer. It is Brock Vandagriff. Sorry about that. But apparently he is already on the phone recruiting.
Is that right?
Yes, he's talked with Oklahoma's 2 running back recruits, and they're building a relationship, and has also been talking to other prospects.
Hopefully they're defensive.
No.
Have you got that app Huddle? Have you got Huddle?
I've looked at it. I don't have it.
Well, I meant to go and look at some of his, because I've only seen just a little bit, just a few of it, his, since he announced. So I want to get on that Huddle and go back and look at a bunch of his highlights.
Yeah.
He's a running quarterback. You knew that, right?
Yeah, he's a prototypical pro, but with the ability to run. He's kind of like Jalen Hurts, I think, pro style size.
Well, if I've seen
athletic.
10 highlights, he ran 5 of them.
Yeah.
So that's a running quarterback in my book. I'm just saying.
Was he supposed to run, or was he scrambling?
I don't know. It was hard to say. But it looked like he took off a little bit early. Now he's a young kid.
Yeah.
So that's probably the first and foremost. If I get an opening, I'm going to take off in that opening.
Yeah.
Now, that's not what Lincoln's going to teach him.
Right.
Right? Lincoln's going to say, listen, they're going to come open, and when they do, you hit them.
Yeah.
The only time you're going to run is if you got somebody breathing down your neck.
Yeah. And even then, you wait until the very last second,
right.
Because you ain't Kyler.
Yeah. If you got 4.240 speed, you can take off anytime you want to.
Yeah. You can wait till they're almost on you, but,
I don't care if from the get-go, from the snap of the ball, if you want to take off running, fine. You run a 4.2, I don't care. But listen, if you're like 4.5, 4.6,
yeah, you stand in the pocket
and you throw the football.
Yeah,
to somebody that does run a 4.2.
Yeah,
am I right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's just good football.
Now that again, talking on the Jalen stuff, and the quarterback. It's funny how Spencer now Spencer Rattler is kind of not really being talked about right now. Everybody feels we have a starting quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and oh my God, we got 2021 quarterback coming in. Oh, by the way, we still got Spencer,
and he's pretty good.
Yeah, but the targets that this offense is going to have this year. Okay, CeeDee Lamb. What was the kid that had the big game against Alabama?
Receiver?
Yeah. Yeah.
It escapes me now.
Y'all know who we're talking about.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Tight end, Calcaterra, who has the porn star mustache right now.
He does?
Yeah.
By the way, I seen Jalen walking through the stadium the other day.
Is he big?
He's you could tell he's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, looks like he could probably pick up the back end of the truck or something if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I was going to get a picture with him, but he was like on his phone, and I was like, I'm not going to bother him while he's on his phone. So.
Plus, you're afraid he'd beat you up.
Well, they're cameras, so. No, the guys that you don't want to mess with are them great big boys that come walking through there. I mean, just like that is one big kid right there, 6'8", 6'9", 350. Just like, good Lord, what do you feed that thing?
Yeah, to keep him, or to get him that big, and then to keep him that big.
Man, just enormous.
Their parents of those kids are like, whoo, I'm glad that boy's gone.
I'm glad that Oklahoma's feeding him now. I'm not even kidding you. We got some kids walking through the stadium right now. They're just enormous.
Yeah.
Like one, they all got the Air Jordan. It's not a flip flop. What's it called?
The sandal.
Slide.
Yeah.
So this kid's walking through there, and I'm telling you, he's got to be 6'8", 6'9". He's just huge. And I park right there, and so they're walking right past me. And I was out there, standing out there on the phone, just leaning against the truck, and he's walking by, and those Air Jordan slides, I'm telling you, squishing them all the way to the concrete every time he took a step on it. I was like, good Lord, kid. He's just a big old boy.
Yeah, because I said, we both raised 3 kids, feeding 3 kids, and yours all were boys. I had 2 big old boys that, I couldn't imagine feeding a kid that, was 6 foot. I mean, Caleb's 6'3", 6'2" in high school, played basketball, but a kid that's job was to eat and work out.
Eat and work out.
I mean,
they're just consuming mass amounts of food. 2-3 burgers at a time or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think part of their recruiting trip they take them in the dining area and say and feed them steaks?
That's why they got it. The cafeteria. If you want it, you can get it in there.
Yeah.
And I don't care what it is. They got it in there. Of course, it's the only all-you-can-eat Chick-fil-A in the nation, right? You can just keep going right on back to
but doesn't the football team eat somewhere else?
Well, most of the time they do, but as far as a recruit, I bet they take them in there.
Yeah.
Now,
But I bet you, too, the recruit, they come in and they, feed them a team meal,
And they do. All the athletes, live over at Headington, and so they've got facilities in there. They got a Qdoba in there. Plus, they have.
Yeah, because I know they're on a diet. I mean, they're supposed to eat certain.
Yeah. Now I can tell you this: when they're eating in the South Club there in the stadium, they have a nutritionist, and she's a little bitty thing. And when they're walking up, she's standing by the scale, and she's like, "Get on the scale," and they do. I mean, they mind it. So they hop up there, and then she'll tell them, "Listen, you need to really pack some protein or whatever." I don't know. I haven't really heard what she says to them, but she tells them what to eat, when to eat it, and how much to eat, and some of that stuff. Yeah.
Is she cute?
Yeah, pretty cute.
Have you ever gone over and tried to get on the scale?
No.
No.
No. When I'm up there, I try and stay out of the way.
Yeah. You got to try sometime. Just walk up and
climb on the scale and see what she says.
Yeah, it's like, can I get on the scale?
She'll probably beat me up.
And just see if she tells you what to eat and how to eat it and where to go and what not to do. And
yeah, they got TVs all up in there, so they're always playing an OU football game on those TVs.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool because when I'm up there, I'm like, oh yeah, hey,
yeah, I remember this game
would be Batman or whatever.
So anyway, the point I was getting at though is that we've got Hazelwood, Weiss, Bridges, Stogner, Braden Willis. That's the targets, along with CD, the kid's name we can't remember, and Calcaterra.
And the backfield.
Sermon and what's his name?
Kennedy Brooks.
Yeah.
How would you like to see any of those three guys that are in the backfield? Jalen Hurts, Kennedy Brooks, coming at you. I mean,
yeah.
They're all big, strong running backs.
Yeah, and the receivers are all big, strong receivers. Even the freshmen have had, they've been there since January. They're putting on weight. The only one that's probably not as big as what they want him to be is Stogner yet. But I got a feeling you're going to see Stogner. Remember when they used to split out Anderson or Andrews? They used to split out Andrews and put him,
because he had the speed.
He had the speed. That's what Stogner's got.
Stogner's
like I said,
speed.
Stogner's like throwing to a net. I mean,
but if he's working out with Calcaterra's in the weights pretty hard. He's a big, strong kid. So it depends. Depends on what
So who's going to get all the reps? Who's going to get most of the reps? How are you? The other thing is Lincoln Riley has got to rotate these kids through into positions, into sets, to make them successful along as well as the offense as a whole successful.
How do you keep them all happy? That's going to be the problem.
Right, because, we're in the portal times. Not saying it, hey, it's the University of Oklahoma. Now, one of these kids not get as much playing time as they think. I don't think they're like that. They seem to be a well-knit group. They all like each other.
Yeah, but if one guy comes open more than the others and he's getting all the play, then the other ones are going to be mad.
Somebody's going to say, hey, I'm, there's too much rotation, because I don't see any of these kids getting redshirted. Maybe Stogner, but still
I don't know. I think we're out of redshirt era. I don't think unless the kid's just not good enough to play.
Yeah,
they're not redshirting.
Defensive and offensive linemen are what you're seeing, and linebackers is what's getting.
Yeah.
Now, if you're an athlete, a receiver, a cornerback, safety, if you can play, you're going to play.
You're going to play.
They're going to put you in there, and you're, from day one. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you got to put on some muscle because those guys that you're going to be going against, they've got, maybe 2-3 years of beefing up on you. And which is, another thing that a lot of people are talking about, here is the offensive line. And, Rob, I feel just like I did last year at this time. I think our offense is going to be fine.
Well, yeah, I think Creed Humphrey came out and said something about the offensive line, that he was extremely impressed and something. And so that made me feel pretty good, because, if those guys up front aren't doing their job, then everything falls apart.
Yeah.
So for him to come out and say, of course, he would, but he may not come out and say what he said. I can't even remember what it was now, but I know it gave me hope that this offensive line is going to be just as special as last year's.
Right. Maybe not, Joe Moore Award.
Maybe not.
But I mean, that was an elite group, and I think we're going to continue to build an elite group. But you just can't really see a hole in this, other than the offense. And I'm telling you, that's the key to everything. It's all in the trenches. We all know that. But you got the best coach in the nation. These are kids that he's been working with. They're working with them now. They're in training to do what they want done, where they want it done. And I see this offense producing the same amount of numbers as it had the last 2 years.
Listen, I'll go one better. If that offensive line will hold up and play strong and there were no holes, this offense could be better than last year.
Oh, yeah. It's got more weapons. I mean,
look, it literally could be.
Yeah. It's like, it's like a Gatling gun belt. I mean, there's no misfires in a Gatling gun. They're all there. Every offense, we have 9 or 10 offensive weapons that, group 1 in and group 1 rotate out. Guess what? Group 2 is just as good.
Oh, yeah.
Group 3 is just as good.
Well, and you've talked about this several times. Lincoln Riley's offense is set up based on what defense are running against him to have certain guys open, and they know it when they come to the line.
Right.
If this guy's doing this, then this guy's going to be open, and you're going to hit him for 15 yards, or you're going to hit him for 25 yards.
Right. And like I said, I mean, I watched several games. You and I, we last year, one of the away games, we rewound it a couple times where it was Calcaterra, and you could tell that this, when they went from behind and watched Calcaterra come open, it was designed for Calcaterra to run that route and be lost in the mix. Mm-hmm. He got lost in the mix with everything that was going on, and he just poked out all by himself. And if you look at Oklahoma's offense, guys, and you watch, playbacks or even during the game, you watch a lot of these guys that come open in what I call a flurry of stuff going on. Mm-hmm. That flurry was so that one guy pops out. And
that's a lot of that. I think Terry is a pre-snap read for your quarterback. He comes up to the line. He's like, okay, safety's playing up. We're going to do this. He's going to slide over, and this
corner's going to go here. The guy's going to pull off and go over. I mean, it's all predicated in, out of that set, Lincoln knows what they're going to do. If they come to the line and look over for them, he's like, oh, they're going to do this.
Right.
And Z45X hot barrel racer, whatever.
And then if we don't know, or even if we do know, we go into his, some play action, and now he's making another read, and based on that, certain people are going to be open at certain times. So it's just an exciting offense to watch.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until the defense matches it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Was that a audible laugh? That's probably not very Sooner fanish of me, was it, Rob?
You're banned.
I'm banned. I think I'm a lot like a lot of Sooner fans in that it's a lot of hope right now in the defense.
A lot of hope.
Right now, while I'm trying to get a little bit of time here. I just pulled up the elephant story.
The elephant story from last podcast where we talked about why is it Crimson Tide and an elephant.
Yeah, what does an elephant have to do with Redwater? Let's see. It dates back to 1930. On October 8th, 1930, sports writer Everett Strupper of the Atlanta Journal wrote a story of the Alabama-Mississippi game that he had witnessed in Tuscaloosa 4 days earlier. The Alabama team of 1930 is a typical Wade machine, powerful, big, tough, fast, aggressive, well-schooled in fundamentals, the best blocking team this early in the season that I've ever seen. These big brutes. Okay, it doesn't say anything about elephants yet. The quarter started trembling. Distant rumble. Some excited fans in the stands bellowed, "Hold your horses, the elephants are coming." It was the first time they'd seen the sires of an entire 11 nearly knocked me cold. Men that seen play last year looked like they'd nearly doubled in size.
And back in the 30s, they were probably like 6'2", 175.
Yeah.
That was that was big offensive lineman back then. So.
Strupper and other writers continue to refer to the Alabama linemen as the Red Elephants. So I guess it was because
that one guy thought they were big that one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were running at the end of the quarter. The earth started to tremble. There was a distant rumble that continued to grow. Some excited fan in the stands bellowed, "Hold your horses, the elephants are coming," and outstamped the Alabama varsity.
Okay.
So
it's kind of a weak story. I mean, no offense to him, but
yeah, I thought it was going to be something like,
I thought like if you hit an elephant with an RPG, that's going to be a crimson tide coming at you. But
I was waiting to say that, maybe it was, they saw the team running out and, it was looked like a big herd of elephants. But I guess it's kind of the thing. I mean,
that was a little anticlimactic, to be honest with you.
So Crimson Tide ladies, y'all know who you are. Tony Cleo. If you have any other stuff you can enlighten us on Twitter today. We're not going to talk about what they do with Bevo when he dies, though I think everybody knows what Rob and I
know
think.
we'd do with him. Get a little A1 sauce.
I'm a Heinz 57 man myself, but that's what you would what to do with Bevo. But anyway, that's the story. So it was basically in 1930 they had a big line, and the media referred to them as the Crimson Elephants. So
the Crimson Elephants.
And so, but went from the Crimson Tide to the Crimson Elephants, and it stuck.
Can you think of another sports team that has an elephant that has no earthly business being there? They're out in California.
They're out in California.
Yep.
The Oakland A's.
Oakland A's.
Yeah. Duh.
No clue why they have an elephant.
Yeah. They have an elephant on their sleeve. It was in the early days, and they do it every now and then now for...
because an elephant is not athletic in any stretch of the imagination.
Well, I don't know. I mean, have you ever raced an elephant?
No. No, I haven't.
Well, so
all
so
right.
you're making the assumption that an elephant isn't an athlete.
Yeah, I should not do that, huh? I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like is a crocodile an athlete? My understanding is they can move across the water and the ground pretty quick. So I don't know. Just bad assumption, Rob.
I don't know, but I hate alligators and crocodiles. Just FYI.
Okay.
Yep.
It's bad as snakes and spiders.
I don't care about snakes and spiders. Don't bother me. But I probably would shoot an alligator. I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
I'm kind of cruel like that.
Yeah, but so anyway, there is the Alabama Crimson Tide story.
We had something similar to that.
What's that?
Wasn't it back in the, I don't know, early 30s or 40s? We had Little Mex or Little Red or
Little Red.
Little Red. Now he was an American Indian, right?
Yeah, he was American.
Didn't we have
Indian.
a dog too?
That was Top Dog. That was for basketball.
No. We had a dog mascot at some point. I want to say they called him Little Mex, but I could be wrong.
I know that Little Red, I mean, even though it was still the Oklahoma Sooners for some reason, and our mascot has always been the Schooner, but for some reason they always had Little Red. The Indian, I've got some old stuff here that's got, that says Oklahoma Sooners, but there's an Indian on it. Don't know why.
Yep.
my high school, the McAllis, thank God they changed the name, but our yearbook was called the Dancing Rabbit, even though our mascot was buffaloes. But apparently in the 30s and early on in the school, it was the McAllister Dancing Rabbits.
All right.
Yeah, and so that's what.
Back in the 30s, man, they were high on some. they were smoking some stuff back then.
Yeah. So, but they changed the mascot to the buffaloes, but they, in honor of the early parts of the school, the yearbook was still the Dancing Rabbit.
All right.
Which makes zero sense to me.
Well, that's people most of the time, though.
Yeah, exactly. But Michael Thompson, moving him to offensive line.
Huh?
Maybe not.
Is he going back?
Reports are now that though he did well on the offensive line, his help may be needed on the defensive line. Shocker.
Boy.
They could have asked us that last year, and we could have saved them
some time. Yeah, or we could have just come suited up.
Yeah, and but they were moving into offensive line. We're happy with his production and what he was doing. People that talked to him, James Hell and a few others that I've been reading, he was happy there. But apparently now they're moving him back because of the he was the number 2 or 3 defensive lineman in the country.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd move him over to begin with.
Yeah.
They have their reasons, but he's a big, strong kid. We could definitely use him on the defensive line.
And I'm seeing a picture that Coach Thibodeau posted, and he's beefed up.
Really?
Yeah. But our defensive line depth is terrible.
Yeah.
So we were pulling him already from a crew that was already short manned, undermanned as well, not very big.
Well, I can see a couple of different reasons, Terry. I think if you got over there and they said, listen, you're not doing very good.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to be like way in the back. So let's move you back over. You'll be second or third string.
Yeah.
Or, you got a chance of starting. Or, originally they said to him, listen, if you want to make the pros, your best bet is to come over on the offensive line.
Right.
And then I don't know whatever happens.
Yeah.
But
well, I know that he was slated to probably have played some last year. Again, he ended up with a torn ACL from his apparent sophomore year in high school, and he played on it for 2 years and didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew that this kid was going to see some playing time this year on the defensive side. Last year, 18 on the defensive side of the ball, but that injury kept him out. Then it was moving him. He spent all spring on the offensive line, and now it appears that he's moving back over to the defensive side of the ball.
Well, that makes me happy because with the guys that we got over there, I think it might turn out to be a solid little crew.
Yeah, put somebody with his pedigree, if he's as good, which I'm sure he is, as he was touted, to put pressure, on the positions in there to, that, hey, it's not just a given that you're the starter. We got this big kid going to come in here and challenge you for that spot. But I did think it was interesting. Maybe it was just an experiment. I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to see, how it turned out. But, again,
we definitely need help over there still, probably.
Yeah.
So.
We've got a good class coming in with 2019. We got Stripling at 6'5", Robertson at 6'3", and Marcus Hicks at 6'5". Again, both, all of those, I've seen stuff on, Marcus's dad on Facebook and Twitter that, that the university's told him he needs to get bigger. He's 265 pounds, 6'5". You got to get bigger.
Him to play about 280, 290
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah. So, and that, unlike you and I, we could put on, 60 pounds pretty easily, but it wouldn't be the right amount of weight. You know what I mean?
Well, they're probably going to throw 20 pounds of muscle on him.
That's what I'm saying.
Hurry, so.
Yeah, it's, this kid's going to be burning 3,000 calories a day and having to eat 5,000 to beef up. So
yeah, they're working out, probably twice a day, and
yeah,
I'm sure they're. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to put some weight on him.
Yeah, and it reminds me when David went into the Army. Yeah, he wasn't in bad shape, but he was a little bit chunkier than what he wanted to be, and he thought, well, I figure I'll lose some weight. I'm going to go on a diet while I'm here in basic training, and was like eating a little bowl of oatmeal and a bologna sandwich for lunch, and he said it lasted about 3 days. He realized if I don't eat like a pig, I'm not going to survive.
Right? Yeah, you dry up and die.
Yeah,
that's probably what's going on up there.
Yeah, I mean they sit down to eat, and especially guys like that in high school they were the biggest kids on the field, and now that they're back to being freshmen again. You're an underdeveloped elite athlete.
At 6'5", 270, he's one of the little dudes here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 6'5", 300, and I'm thinking probably going to push him up 290, 300. Defensive end, as long as it doesn't affect his speed and quickness, which if they're putting the muscle on him and they're putting it on him right, which,
Well, just think, I mean, some kids, he may be the kind of kid that he's not going to be able to put any more weight on. He may lose some, and if he does, how would you like a 6'5", 260-pound linebacker?
Yeah, that's true, too. I mean, that's a good point.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Speaking of the linebacker we got, somebody said he was a 3-star, or is he a 4-star?
I think it's a 4-star.
He's a 4-star.
Yeah,
because one of our good buddies called him a Travis Lewis clone. He's got the speed and size, and might have been JY from the Brainiacs. I think he may have said that, but anyway. I have not had the opportunity to research this kid, so he's a 21 kid, or is he same class as the quarterback?
I think he's 21. I think.
So he'll be.
I'm flipping through my stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good because we need him right now.
Yeah, defense. I mean, on two ends, on the defensive side of it, why, if you're an elite position, go, you know what, they got the best offense in the country, I'm going to go there and build, be part of becoming maybe one of the best programs in the country for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The next Alabama/Clemson. We're already at that level. We just haven't been able to get to the finals yet.
Have not got over that hump.
Yeah. It's Oklahoma. Right now in the country, it's Oklahoma, Alabama, and Clemson. You can talk about Georgia, Texas, and everybody else. They're not there. Oklahoma, in 2 years has lost one regular season game each. So is Alabama. So is Clemson. Clemson went undefeated last year. So they're the elite of the elite. We all know it. Oklahoma's downside is that defensive side of the ball. It's what's been talked about the last 3 years, 4 years.
I don't think any other team. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I don't think any other team would have made it to where we did with the worst defense in the nation.
Oh, no.
They just wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, wouldn't have made it. So. If you throw our defense on Alabama, Alabama's not nearly as good. Throw it on Clemson, they're not nearly as good.
Right.
Oklahoma had an offense that you're going to score on anybody, period. You're going to score 30, 40 points on anybody, probably more. Yeah. And the problem was, like we said, in the last two bowl games, semifinal games, if that offense sputters against an elite team, you don't have the defense to step up and stop their offense.
Right.
And that's what's happening. And I'm still, I don't know. I'm still not seeing anything that I'm happy with happening on the defensive side of the ball as far as recruiting. You don't see anything big happening on that side. We keep hearing, the number one quarterback, the number two running back, all this great stuff happening on the offensive side of the ball. Is it because our defense hasn't done anything and people are waiting to see what this defense does? Or is it just it's got to be an important factor in Oklahoma, but it doesn't seem like they're having any result in the recruiting side of it.
Now, didn't we get 2 4-star corners and the 4-star linebacker? And, I mean, is it as good as the offensive side of it? No. But I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of Buki last year, which was a 5-star, we got 2 4-stars, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then a 4-star safety, I think, as well. So as long as those linebackers can, hold up to the mustard, we might be quite a bit improved.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm still on the side of the ball as it's not it hasn't been a scheming issue. It's been the ability of the players to play the.
I would have to agree with that assessment.
Let's face it, we had 2 different schemes last year, and we all wanted to blame Mike. Mike's not developing. Mike's not doing this, and it all falls on him, and it's true. And everybody thought, okay, we got new blood, we got Ruffin in here. Watch what's going to happen. Bookie put out that deal. It matters when you love who you play for.
Yeah.
Really, because you got worse. So
yeah, they did. They definitely got worse, especially Bookie.
Yeah.
I mean, at first of the season, he had some promising games, and he just took a nosedive.
Yeah.
And outside of that one hit at where was that? Ohio State, maybe tight end or something.
No.
Kansas State.
Kansas State, yeah.
Outside of that one hit, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And in fact, got benched later in the year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just ineffective. And, I got news for you. In my opinion, our opinions matter just as much as y'all's. Bookie ain't no corner. I know that we've had James Hill sit here and say that he is not, not that we know more than James or I know more than James. That man is not big enough to be a corner in
not against a
Division
6'3", 6'4" wide receiver.
I mean.
He can jump, apparently.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not going to out jump.
He's not out jumping. Sure not.
6'5" wide receiver. It's not going to happen. He's not going to out jump a 6 foot wide receiver.
Well, the defense. Here's the thing: if the defender is running with the receiver and you just get beat by a good receiver and a good quarterback, that's one thing. But when you got wide receivers that are 20 yards and there's no one around, that's a problem.
That's a problem. Exactly. And that's what we've seen for so many years, and that we don't want to see.
So I think it was both. I think it was a scheming problem to some degree and a talent problem to some degree.
So Rob, let's touch on the Big 12 as we've been doing our Thursday nights from Louis on the Big 12. We had Kansas last in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas is number 10 in the Big 12.
Right.
And then we've got Kansas State at number 9. Who are we going to reveal this week at Louis? We've got Tech, West Virginia.
We've got all the usual suspects down there, don't
we? We've got Tech, West Virginia,
Baylor,
Oklahoma State.
It's going to be one of those 4.
Yeah, TCU. I think TCU is going to be better this year.
Oklahoma, TCU, Texas. That's your top 3 in some order.
Yeah, well, I've got Oklahoma. I've got Oklahoma, Texas, and Iowa State in some order. I think Iowa State. Campbell's got that thing on a roll. It's the middle of the Big 12, 7, 6, 5, 4. That is interesting, but I don't think there's any doubt. Nobody has not liked our positions as far as Kansas 12, Kansas State, or Kansas 12, 10, Kansas State 9.
Well, they're struggling up there. It's a desolate, cold icebox of a place that nobody wants to visit, much less go to school at. So,
yeah, I saw a deal today on Facebook. It was like, all you people, complaining about your lives and how bad it is. Remember, thousands of people live in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not only is it cold, but it stinks up there too.
No, I kid you not. I was going to Kansas one time, Rob, and it was cold in Oklahoma. Okay. And, you get past the Kansas line, and the tollway starts there on 35. And, they got the little Kansas sign there that come in. I kid you not. There was snow on the other side of the state line. It was snowing in Kansas and not in Oklahoma.
Yeah, God hates Kansas. You remember that year we went skiing in Colorado?
Yeah.
As soon as we crossed that Kansas border, man, we were like, what in the world?
You watch your temperature gauge on your car just start dropping. It's 32 degrees in Oklahoma, and all of a sudden you get into Kansas and it's down to 12.
Yeah. Plus the life sucks. So then, it's just bad. It's just bad.
Yeah. And then, when you get out into western Kansas, when there's nothing out there. Nothing, and they got the signs up that says,
there's nothing out here.
Stop looking, turn around, go back. But that I guess they close the highway during the winter times a lot out there because the blowing snow or whatever, and they got those gates on whatever the highway is, not I-40, but you see them all over. Highway may close, and it's like, who,
where's my detour then?
Yeah.
No, you just out of luck. Sit here for a while.
Yeah. There is nothing in Kansas.
I wouldn't mind going to Dodge City. Isn't that where the OK Corral is?
Dodge City stinks.
Well, I'm sure it does.
No, I mean, yeah, all those southern Kansas towns up through there is
they're all refineries.
They're all slaughterhouses, and so there's miles of cows. And well, do you know what cows do?
Moo.
Yep. They moo and it stinks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no. Okay, you said the OK Corral.
Yeah.
No, that's in Tombstone.
That's in Tombstone.
Yeah, Tombstone, Arizona.
That's in Dodge City.
I do not know.
Is that where Marshall Dillon?
Yeah, Dodge City was. Dodge City was Matt Dillon and
Dillon.
Yeah, Festus and.
Festus.
I'll knock knots on your head faster than you can rub them. Matthew.
There's like one guy listening that knows what you're talking about, and that's me.
Hey, if you didn't watch Gunsmoke and Festus wasn't your favorite guy.
Well, I was already telling you that my dad watched Gunsmoke, so if I was going to watch TV, I had to watch that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We watched Gunsmoke. It came on Channel 8 at 10:30 every night after the news, and we didn't watch The Tonight Show. We watched Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, but Dad, there's a baseball game on.
No. It came on at 6:30 or 6 after the afternoon. But we always watched Gunsmoke, and on Sunday nights we watched either Hee Haw. Did you ever watch Hee Haw?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I liked Hee Haw because all them chicks that were wearing the short denim. I'm like, hey,
short denim and the like bow topped.
12, 13 years old. Yeah, I'm watching that.
Did you ever have to watch the Lawrence Welk Show?
No.
Yeah, every now and then we would have to watch the Lawrence Welk Show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Gunsmoke. It was what was the barmaid's name on Gunsmoke? Miss Kitty.
Oh, I was gonna say Daisy, but I don't know it that well. So Miss Kitty, yep.
Yeah, Miss Kitty. She was the saloon owner, but we all know what female saloon owner.
I didn't back then. Like I didn't know, but now I know
that the marshal had a thing for the local hooker.
He's always in there. I'm like, calm down.
Exactly. And then last night, me and Teresa watched Young Guns and Young Guns 2.
Young Guns, and you watched them both?
Yeah,
back to
both. Yeah, they're on back to back on Sundance. So.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, Chavez, and what's it? Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, isn't that Charlie Sheen's little brother?
Yep.
Or big brother?
Little brother.
Little brother.
And yeah, because Charlie was in the first one. Charlie got killed in the first one.
He did.
Yeah, but. Yeah, Young Guns and Young Guns 2. Both of them
pretty good flicks. Yeah,
good one. Not as good as Tombstone.
Not as good as Tombstone.
Where the OK Corral's at.
Yeah, there's just too many one-liners that come out of that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, just too many.
Yeah, Val Kilmer, how he didn't win an Oscar for that, just watching that show.
I don't know that he did or didn't, but yeah, it was his best ever.
Yeah, I mean, he was so good as the Doc Holliday. Mm-hmm. You're Daisy if you do.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah. Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Dude, he was just crass, wasn't he? He's like, listen, I will bust you, and I'll pop a cap in you.
All the time. I'm so drunk I can't hardly stand up.
Yeah, and dude was like, listen, I don't want nothing to do with you. He's like, well, that's too bad.
Yeah, he had tuberculosis. Was an alcoholic. Also, what was the painkiller they used to drink back then?
Laudanum?
Laudanum, yeah. He was hooked on pretty much everything, but could still,
Still pretty quick with the old trigger. Trigger finger.
But, and another good one in there is Billy Bob Thornton, Fat Billy Bob Thornton.
I know. I didn't even recognize who that was, years later. It's like, oh, it's the same guy.
Yeah. Fat Billy Bob Thornton gets slapped around by Wyatt.
Yep.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
You're just going to stand there and bleed. I'm like, dang. Yeah. But that needed to happen because
Oh,
that
yeah.
dude was annoying, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Well, Rob, any other? We've gone through our cowboy movies. Any other thing you want to touch base on? And
Oh no, not really.
well, one other thing, guys, if you want to be on the podcast, shoot us an email. Go to our website. There's a place there to fill out the little form, just your information, so we can get a hold of you. We will have a guest on next week. Again, sorry we didn't have one on tonight. I got tied up at work, and I didn't want to be dragging them into later tonight. So we
Hey, you remember
rescheduled.
last year when guests sent us cookies? Just saying, it's always an option. It's out there for you.
Yeah, if you're a guest, you can send us cookies. Now, Terry was going to make us cookies, but I told her we were all, watching our girlish figure. So it's my fault we didn't get cookies this last time.
Yeah, I couldn't eat them anyway.
Yeah.
I would have wanted to, but I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, you just had a bite of chicken and,
Yep.
sounded like you'd ate half a cow.
I'm telling you.
So, but anyway, well, again, if you want to be on the podcast, drop us a line. You can shoot us a DM. If you've already been on, don't. We already got your stuff. We'll be reaching out to some other people. Some people that were on last year that have said, when you want me on, just let me know. So we'll be getting some people back on here real soon. We'll start again on next Wednesday's podcast. So you sure you don't have anything else, Rob?
No, not a thing.
All right.
Good.
Well, that's the podcast, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. Boomer Rob.
Boo, Terry.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.